Hi friends, it's Amy at Doki Forest. How are you guys doing? It's been a little while, huh? Well, I'm back and today's Wednesday and I'm doing Watercolor Wednesday, right? Well, let's just say this begins as watercolor, but really turns into more of a mixed media. And before I go any further, let me just say that Watercolor Wednesday is a hashtag you can search and see who else is doing it. It's an open collab hosted by Tanya at Side Gig Crafts, and I will have the information down below. You can check out Tanya's channel, you can check out the hashtag, or you can watercolor and join yourself. You can put the hashtag in there and come on in and join the fun. So I knew for Watercolor Wednesday, I wanted to paint a rabbit at some point. It's Year of the Rabbit, but not just Year of the Rabbit, it's Year of the Water Rabbit. So water is the element of the year. So I wanted to do my version of a water rabbit. So here they are. They have a big old tail and some fins on their back and big old horns, of course, and you can see some webbing between the paws. So I did my usual, sketched out the animal, then I ink, then I go in with some watercolor paint. And if anything, let this be a story of how my art didn't quite go the way I wanted it to. I felt like there was a point when I almost gave up, but I pushed through and I was really happy with the end result. Really happy that I didn't just scrap it. And I'll kind of come in and out and narrate and tell you where I'm at in the process. Right now, this is the watercolor portion of the process. So I am painting a background. This is unusual for me because a lot of times I like to do my backgrounds separate from the subject. It's almost like the way traditional cel-drawn animation was, and I think I talked about that in a previous video, but that's just a style that I like in my art. I like having a background that I usually paint with gouache or watercolor. Yeah, that's pretty much what I use most of the time. Don't really use acrylic paints too much for background. Well, now that I say that, I realize I do use acrylic paint in this background, so I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyway, I like to do the background, and then I like to do my subject, draw and paint my subject on separate paper, and then cut them out and layer them. And that just works for me. So for this, I'm actually doing the background, and then I'm going to let that dry, and then I will paint the main character. I think one of the reasons why I really like having the layering is that it allows me to draw my character and almost test them against different backgrounds. Or if I don't glue them down, I can create different backgrounds for them and place them in different environments or different colors or whatever I feel like doing. So I have some characters that I just have as cutouts, and then I'll draw, or rather I'll paint a background that's like a woodsy scene or a background that's like an ocean scene, and then I can sort of put the characters in front of it. It's pretty much similar to how they would animate shows back in the day when everything was cel drawn, and they would have the background layer, which would be all hand painted, and then they would have the foreground layer, which would sometimes be multiple layers, and that would be where it would be on the clear cel acetate paper. Acetate, is that right? I think so. And they would paint the character on there, and they could paint the different expressions, which would be different layers. And I don't know, I think I'm just really influenced by that. So even though I'm not painting cells, I still like that old animation style. So this is unusual for me to actually do everything on one page. Honestly, I really think I like doing the different layers too, because it allows for mistakes. So if I paint my character and I really like my character, and then I paint the background, I don't like it, I mean, of course I can fix it. That's exactly what I'm going to do with this, with everything. Every step of this rabbit is pretty much going to change And yeah, but I think the layers add a lot of flexibility. I guess I should say flexibility. But there's always flexibility as long as you don't lock yourself in too much to a particular idea or an exact way that you want something to come out, because sometimes it just doesn't happen like that. Right? We've all been there. And yeah, last week I was having a hard time making too much. I was creating, but I felt like I was in that slump where everything I was creating wasn't quite coming together the way I was hoping. And this was a piece that I did start last week, and then I just finished it this week. And something shifted between last week and this week, where last week it was a struggle, and then today when I went in, it came together, and I'm really pleased with it. But this is still last week, so this is me painting, and I thought the purple would look nice just to have a different color. I like to use all the colors if possible. I just like a lot of rainbow, a lot of bright colors, cheery colors. And I was really influenced when I was painting the tail and also the back fins there. They look like wings. They're sort of wings, but they're really more fins floating there in the water. I saw this tropical fish picture, and I didn't save it. I should have saved it. But the fish had fins that were these colors, and then it had blue stripes, and it was really pretty. So I was influenced by that. But as you can see here, I started putting in layer or more and more colors, and I'm getting a little bit of brown there because I've got a red, an orange, a yellow, and then I was doing a green, and then I'm getting a brown. So that's what happens when you are mixing colors a lot, right? So I used to have this art teacher when I was in middle school, and he was teaching, and he said, what do you get when you mix yellow and blue? And everyone's like, green. And then he says, what do you get when you mix red and blue? And everyone says purple or violet. And then he goes, what do you get when you mix all the colors? And everyone's like, huh? And he goes, you get color. And we all laughed. And I still remember that to this day. I don't remember a lot from middle school, but I will never forget him saying that. And it's true. You mix these colors together, and, I've got red and green. You try to mix those together, and, yeah, you're going to get a color that you may not have wanted. So I am still working this bunny. I am trying to figure out how to recover. I'm like, okay, let me try putting some shimmer watercolor on here. Maybe I can kind of dull what's happening there with that brown and kind of erase it. And then by accident, I was also erasing the blue wavy lines I made. So then I said, okay, well, let me get this nice red again and put that on, and I'm putting that on, and I really put that on. I'm covering the whole thing. I was like, all right, let me just start over again, and now I will add the yellow. I mean, you can see. So that was last week. This was this week. So now I'm going in with a Posca pen, and I decided to try to do the color with this pen, because at this point I felt like if I went in with watercolor again and tried to make something happen, it was just going to get either really muddy or really messy. So I thought the Posca pen will go right over the watercolor. It won't activate the watercolor, and I might be able to get some definition that I was looking for. So here I go. I tried to go in with colored pencil, but you don't really see it. It didn't really show up too well, especially this yellow. The purple was fine though, so I used that for some shading, but the yellow didn't work. And then the green a little bit, pink a little bit. I mean, you can see what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm telling you what I'm doing. You can see it. So, yeah, that color didn't work either. And then I realized I lost most of the definition of the fins and things. So I'm just going back in with the pen, and again with the colored pencil, that's me like looking at it like, what how am I going to fix this? I didn't want to give up on it. I loved my water rabbit. Or I should say, I was really happy with the drawing of the water rabbit. So I'm like, let me keep going. So then I decided I would go in and use one of these water-soluble colored pencils. And I'm going in with black. And I tried white. That did not work. So back with black I went. And I thought, maybe if I can just define, because there was something about the image I felt like with the background, it was getting lost. I wasn't satisfied. It didn't feel like it was popping out. I felt it just wasn't right. So I thought, well, maybe if I can sort of outline it with this soft black, I can make it kind of pop out a little more, stand out a little more. I'm just trying stuff. I'm basically experimenting right now, because it's either experiment or start over. And I could start over. I did scan the water bunny before I started painting, so I do have it scanned. I could trace it and start over again, but I really didn't want to do that. I really was like, no, let's see. I've got all my crystals out. I got my creativity crystals. I got my candle lit. I was like setting the mood. So I'm like, let's do this. White gel pen to the rescue, as always. Love the white gel pen. And now I'm starting to see, the stripes. I'm happy with how this white gel pen is showing up. And I'm like, this could be just the thing I need to fix these fins and really get things popping. Really get things standing out. So that I'm really happy with. I like that. And let me see. So Year of the Rabbit in Chinese astrology. And there I am. I'm just going to go in with the Posca pen and outline. You'll see what I'm doing here. So the rabbit, it says, is a prized totem associated with good luck, prosperity, and success. The water rabbit may bring new levels of compassion and nurturing to the fore, or it could be a time of quiet introspection and inner reflection this year. This lunar animal is known for its calm and patient demeanor, and its influence encourages us to cultivate these qualities within ourselves. 2023 provides a unique opportunity to take a more level-headed and practical approach to our endeavors, allowing us to achieve our goals more easily and efficiently. So good luck. We're supposed to have good luck this year. All right, guys, now look at this. This is a big decision. I decided, you know what? This background is not working for me. I released the water rabbit from that background, and I already feel so much better. I feel so much happier seeing this rabbit not on that page. So I decided to build a new background for them. And there's the acrylic that I said I don't usually use, and there I am using it. I feel like every time I think I don't use something, I'm using it. So yeah, I have a canvas here and just painting a watery background. We got some waves, and we're gonna try this and see if this works. I was enjoying making these waves. Like I said last week, it was a struggle. This week, even today, I was working on this morning. So once that dried, I am putting some tissue on the page to simulate kind of like frothy waves, or just give it some texture, because it's just nice to have texture. So they could be little frothy bits, or just swirls in the water, or just the light shining. Who knows? I just like how it looks. And that's what you got to go with. You got to go with your gut on this stuff. But yeah, seriously, I can't tell you the amount of times I almost stopped this whole project. Do you guys have things like that, projects like that? Or just days when it feels like, or maybe a week? I had a full-on week where I was definitely not in the zone. But it's funny how a lot of times when you're struggling, if you can put something to the side and come back to it later, whether it's a day later, a week later, a year later, you know, your eyes can be fresh. You can look at it with new, fresh eyes. And see, I'm not wasting that other background. I'm going to punch out little bubbles that I'm going to use. So I'm still going to use my original watercolor background. It's just in a different form, and I like this much better. I like having just the little bubbles in there. But now I feel like this water rabbit is popping out. And now, of course, the final step is gluing everything all together. On they go, and it's complete. Yay! Let me know if any of you are Year of the Rabbit. My younger son is Year of the Rabbit. I hope you all are having an excellent year so far, a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon. And don't give up on your projects. All right, bye-bye.